Hey guys, Dota Streams here, coming at you with another battle report, and today we got Eldar versus Tyranids, and it's two very different lists, one that's very tough and one that's pretty much not tough at all. And technically it's not a good matchup for the Eldar, but I want to see how they perform and I want to try out the new detachment. So for the Eldar, over here our army is actually pretty simple. We have two big detachments. First detachment has a Farseer with just Witchblade on foot, Fortune, Will of Assyrian as psychic powers, and a Warlock in HQ with Witchblade, Shuriken Pistol, Conceal, Reveal, followed by full squad of Wind Riders and 5 small squads of Wind Riders, and everybody's got the scatter lasers. The entire thing is a light talk because I want to have the -1 to hit for all of my units, and technically these guys are a little bit worse like that with scale lasers because they can't move very much without losing a lot of firepower, but their range is pretty good on 36, and usually that's enough. So that's the first Outrider detachment, and the second Outrider detachment over here is led by an Autark with Starlight Plasma Grenades, Banshee Mask, Fortune's Wings, and also the I don't know, Falcon Speed or something, the Warlord Trait that makes me faster. So essentially he goes very, very fast as well. He goes 14 inches even though he's not on a bike due to his artifact and his Warlord Trait. And then over here is the fastest Skyrunner. Have to take her in order to make these detachments work. She has Guide and Doom, so she's the most important one in that case, and also has a Witchblade as usual on bike. And then we have a bunch of Vipers. Vipers are pretty decent this edition with 2 Shuriken cannons. Each of them puts out 6 shots, so 18 shots per squad, and it's strength 6, which is pretty good to cut through horns, and then it's on 6s it's AP -3 instead of 0, which is nice. And obviously this is a light talk as well, so we have 2 4 Outrider detachments, and which means we have one little problem. We do not have a battalion, and as such we don't have that much command points. Even more so because we made both of these a Wind Rider host. Cost us 1 CP, and then we get a Wind Rider extra special word, basically. I did that for both of these, and that means as long as the Farseer is in range, everybody gets -1 or +1 to their AP, however you want to call it, for 1 round, but it costs 3 CP, so it's incredibly expensive, and I only have 5 CP total. So I'm basically gonna play without any CP, unless the Autark gives me some back, because he has Path of Command and he can recover these points. But on the most part, I'm playing very, very low on these. But -1 is a lot if you're talking about scatter lasers and shuriken cannons. Makes them pretty nasty for 1 round, basically. The Autark also is obviously giving them reroll once because of within 6, and the last point is that we get guide on whatever unit we like. Really nice thing to have is that the Vipers in general have Blade Wind. As long as they have 3 models, they move 20 inches instead of 16, which makes them incredibly fast. And yeah, they are actually surprisingly durable if you're -1 to hit them, and then in addition you have to cut through their 3+ armor, which is pretty decent. Bikes were nerfed to 4+ armor, but they still are toughness 4, 2 wounds, so they're not that easy to get rid of, and mostly they're not the problem anyway. Alright, so that leaves us with, for now, 3 CP, although the Autark is on the field as I use the stratagem. So we're gonna see if we get those back, because I'm obviously immediately gonna use them. We do not. Okay. So I might still get the chance to get another one back when we use some, or when the Tyranids use some. And the Tyranids already deployed over here have very very, very tough matchup for these, because we have one Magus in the back here, right over there. He is here for a Gene Stealer detachment and also for Mass Hypnosis, which is an amazing spell. Basically denies Overwatch and gives -1 to hit for the unit that is targeted. He's an auxiliary detachment, so there's no other Gene Stealer cults here. But as you can see, I brought Astra Militarum, 3 Demon Rush Mars Alpha Conqueror tanks with 3 Heavy Bolters, Conqueror Battle Cannon, and Coaxial Storm Bolter, which means as long as the Coaxial Storm Bolter shoots at the same thing as the Conqueror Battle Cannon, it can reroll all hit rolls, which is obviously really, really good. And then leading that thing, because it's a Spearhead detachment, is that one guy over here that you can barely see because he's that well equipped. It's a Marshal. And he has a bolt gun, frag crack grenades, and Memento Mori, because it's great. Memento Mori basically makes multi-wound weapons only take 1 damage at a time, which is really, really powerful. But everything considered, he's obviously still squishy as heck, which is the way it works. So this is Death Corps of Creeks, as you can tell by the look of him. But that won't matter much, because basically you lose all their special rules because they're here as a Brute Brother detachment. And then basically for the real Tyranid detachment, we have 2 Neurothropes. So 1 back here and 1 back here. This one has Catalyst, and this one has this one has Catalyst, this one has Onslaught, and obviously they know Smite. And troops, we have 26 Termagants with flash powers, nothing special about them. Just here, basically because there is one stratagem that allows Termagants to get +1 to wound, which is nice. And we can then bring them back with Endless Swarm, and they have objective secure. Then in Deep Strike reserves, we have 2 squads of Rippers, same reason. And basically to be a distraction, can interrupt some firepower maybe. And then obviously the big part of this army is a bunch of Carnifexes. So we have 2 brutes of 3 Carnifexes, all identically equipped. That's 2 Death Spitters with Slimer Maggots, 1 heavy Venom Cannon, and the tail has a Bone Mace. They also have Spore Cysts, which makes them even tougher than they already are. Their toughness 7 usually, 3+ save. Spore Cysts makes that -1 to hit against range attacks, and Enhanced Senses means they are hidden on 3s, so it's a Dakar Fex. It has some close combat potential, but the Bone Mace is a single attack that cannot be used by anything else, so they are basically hidden with their bare hands for the most part. But still, they are actually pretty decent without it, because of their high base strength. They can still hurt Vipers and whatnot. And yeah, we got a lot of these, so they are very tough to bring down. 8 wounds, everybody, not bad. And then 6 Hive Guard all over the place here, back here, over there. Basically here for the Dakar. Impaler cannons on all of these, which are heavy weapons, so they better should stand still, otherwise they're not hitting anything. But all the shooting here is Ballistic Skill 3. The worst shooting actually comes from the tanks and the Termagants. And as you can tell by the numbers, this is obviously Jormungandr, which means they have the tunnel network, but tunnel network means we have cover everywhere, so we don't have to hide anywhere. We can just move. As long as we do not advance or charge, we get to have cover everywhere, which means these are essentially on a 2+ armor save, but they're very bad at actually approaching the gun line of the Eldar, because, you know, they're not very fast. But we still have to get that objective, which I'll talk about next, so that's not going to be an option. That is 2,000 points of Tyranids with Gene Stealer Cults, and obviously Death Corps of Creek as Brute Brothers. So got a nice infestation going on here versus basically a whole ton of Bikes and Vipers, all the fast attack that there is. None of this is objective secure, which is obviously a problem for the Eldar, but even in the Tyranid army there's not that much objective secure at all. They have all the heavy support basically. The mission we play here is basically very simple. We have, from a top-down view, one objective back here where the Marshal is sitting. We have one objective over here in the Tyranid deployment zone, one in the Eldar deployment zone, one in the middle. And then there is one hidden back here for the Eldar and one here in between. So we have a lot of objectives. And the secondaries are the following. We have for the Eldar marked for death. We marked for death the big squad of Termagants, one squad of what's it called? Hiveguard, and two of the Carnifexes, which makes 4 points. Big Game Hunter, because we still have the option to kill another brood of Carnifexes, because there's 4 left of them. So no matter what I kill, it's gonna be Big Game Hunter or marked for death. And Headhunter, because there's a bunch of HQs running around, and we can actually snipe them pretty decently because of our Viper mobility. And then the Nids have the same, marked for death, all the Viper squads that are deployed in the back. Big Game Hunter, because that's 3 points. Vehicle keyword per model, easy peasy. And Old School, which means we need first strike, Warlord kill, and we need to make the last kill and have a unit in the enemy deployment zone. Basically playing around that they can't kill us fast enough, which is not unlikely, because the Eldar have very, very few AP and ignore cover to go through this amount of wounds and armor. Alright. The Tyranids are at 8 CP with what they have, and we have 3 CP for the Eldar left. And the Tyranids deployed first, so they will get +1 to this roll-off, and then we see who goes first. That goes to the Nids because they deployed first. So in this case, Tyranid turn 1. Let's see how we do this. So the tactic here is pretty simple. We have to take the middle objective. Otherwise, this is going to be tough, because this one back here will be held by the Marshal no matter what. This one is not reachable without any help from the Ripper Swarm. And this one we don't get close to because there's too much firepower sitting on it. So basically we have to move forward and get some tough guys in here so we can properly hold that objective. And I know it looks weird, but I'm gonna send the Leman Russ first advancing into the middle objective, because he is very tough to remove for the Eldar, and he is basically the only thing that they can't kill very easily, or they don't want to kill very easily. And trust me, a Leman Russ does not do very well against -1 to hit, especially not if he doesn't have any commands whatsoever. So he's moving his 12 up, and he's going to try to secure that objective so everybody else can hold still and fire. We always have to see if we're in range, but the Carnifex here is in range. This one is also in range, very close, so everybody gets to shoot anyway. And that means we can just advance the Hormagons and the Neuthrop, and then everybody else hopefully hits something. Hormagons are going pretty fast. Let's grab them real quick. Moving 11 inches forward. Oh my goodness. Basically to over here. They're surprisingly resilient because they have their 5-up armor most of the time, but this turn they're a little bit susceptible to firepower because obviously they lose their special rule. I hate this clumping. But they have to get onto the objective, otherwise one Viper is going to take it away from the Conqueror, which we don't want. And there we go. All the guns went forward. These will stand still for now because the other tank will probably not die anytime soon. The Marshal is gonna move a little bit closer and tuck into this little corner here. Right there. He is the Warlord, by the way, and he has obviously the best artifact there is, which basically allows him to get me additional command points on a roll of a 5, which is really, really good. Okay. The Neurothrope is going to advance as well. Oh, he's going very fast as well. So he's going to hop behind these guys and just try to get a little bit closer into psychic range. He is in smite range, but he's also in deny range, which is both a good and a bad thing. But no shadow in the warp yet. This one is also going to advance, because why not? It's going to move around here. And then the Magus, I think, will stay put for now. He's a little bit misplaced in my opinion. He should be somewhere around here so I can move him forward. But that's okay. So the Magus is obviously not in range for anything, but we can put Catalyst out. Catalyst is gonna go on the Hive Guard, because the Hive Guard is dying very, very quickly if they're unlucky. So let's see what we get. Let's get a second die. A 7 is enough, and the Eldar will try to deny this, because obviously they would like to kill him. And they deny that on a 10. That's the problem if you move into deny range. Then we're gonna cast Smite on the first Viper, which doesn't go off, but we get to reroll once. Goes off on a 9 and is not denied. Let's see how much mortal wounds. 2 of them. Alright, let's see who is the closest. Yeah, most likely that unit. So 2 mortal wounds on the first Viper, drops it down to 4. And Onslaught. I'm gonna put Onslaught on whom? Doesn't really matter, to be honest, but I'm gonna put it on the Hormagaunts. Maybe they are in range of something. Yeah, it goes off on a 7. And nobody can deny. I only have 2 denies on the other side, because the Warlock is hiding back here in the corner. He's not in range of smiting anything, so might as well cast this on the Gaunts, and that's it. So they count as having not moved, basically, and doesn't get any penalties for anything, which is okay. Alright, not the most significant stuff, but 2 wounds on a Viper is actually very significant. Because one thing that people do not realize is Vipers can blow up. And that's really, really bad if that happens, because obviously they're going to make a huge chunk of mortal wounds on somebody. Okay, let's start the shooting. So first I'm going to shoot the Carnifexes into the very front Viper squad. And we start off with the heavy venom cannon, which gets 2 shots, and it hits. Basically it should hit on 3s, but since they are light talk, we're hitting on 4s again. Back to being a Carnifex. But they both hit, which is really nice. So wounding on 3s. 1 wound, and this is a 5-up. And it goes through, so that's 3 flat damage on the first Viper. And then we get an additional 6 shots from the Death Spitter, with another 3 wounds, because it's strength 7. And this is only -1, so this is a 4-up save. And there's another wound. So that's the first Viper destroyed. Does it go kaboom? It does. Okay, that is really bad. I think in that respect we will just command point that. Let's see if we can change that. Yes, it does not blow up. Okay, because that's a lot of mortal wounds. I think that's worth the command point. Now let's see if we get something. No. Do the Eldar get something? Yes, they get their command point back. That's excellent. So 1 command point was farmed there by the autarch, which is really nice. Second Carnifex. We have 6 of these, so we can keep firing, no issue. Venom Cannon first again, because we want to Make sure that we get the flat 3 damage in first. 3 shots, hidden on 4s. 1 hit, wounding on 3s. Save. Nope. 3 damage flat. And then the spitters. 3 hits. Only 1 wound with a 4-up. Passed. So it's 3 damage on the second Viper. And the third Carnifex. Heavy Venom Cannon. 3 shots. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. Saves. No, that's 2. Alright. No explosion, sorry. But we also do overkill that Viper, because obviously that's 1 going through and then another one on the next Viper. Where is it? Ah, over here. So the next shot also goes through because it's a squadron. So we're still shooting spitters. Only 3 wounds this time and 4-up saves. Still 2 wounds, not bad. So the last one drops down to 1 HP. And I guess the next Carnifex is gonna fire, but it is gonna be Death Spitters into that squad and the Venom Cannon in the squadron next to it. So let's do the Death Spitters on the original squad first. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s with 2 4-up saves, unfortunate. How many shots with the Venom Cannon? 3 again, very good performance by the Venom Cannon so far. 3 hits. 3 wounds. 1 save, so that is 1 destroyed. And it does not blow up. So we're gonna put down one of these. Plop. But the 1-on-1 wound left is still alive. So that was Carnifex number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so another one. Same deal. This time we're shooting first with the heavy Venom Cannon. 1 shot. And 1 miss. But was bound to happen. The Carnifexes are performing pretty well at the moment, I'd say. That's 3 hits with the Death Spitters and 0 wounds. Okay, and last but not least, 3 shots from the Venom Cannon and 2 hits from the Venom Cannon. 0 wounds. Okay, that's unfortunate. The last Carnifex is not doing it right now. Let's see. 50-50 on the Death Spitters. That's good wounding on the Death Spitters as well. That's 1 wound dropped on another Viper. Boom. Okay, so next we're gonna go with the Hive Guard, I think. They do not need line of sight and they have 36 range, so they can basically target whatever they want to. And I'm gonna target the squad number 5, because they're the ones that are in range of most stuff. In this case we can make use of a little stratagem, I think. Let's see that one. Pathogenic Slime, this one here. So basically single-minded annihilation and pathogenic slime are good ones, because we can put this on them to give them +1 attack, and then we can let them shoot again at the end of the shooting phase, which means we make good use of these. Unfortunately, this is 4 CP, so this is plenty expensive to cast. Good thing is though we have Kurov's Akrita, and that means each time the opponent uses a stratagem, you still get a command point. So we might be able to get some command points back at least. So we'll see about that. So we're going to use 2CP for now to let them shoot at that squad with +1 additional damage. Each Hive Guard has 2 shots, and we have 6 of them, equals 12 shots. And ballistic skill 3 is normal for them, so this is 4 ups to hit. Ooh, that was not very good. And this is 3s to wound with strength 8. That was also pretty horrible. And then this is AP -2, so this is a 5-up saves on the Vipers. That was about as bad as it can get. So 1 wound does D3 damage, 2 damage, +1 is 3 damage on 1 Viper. I'm gonna put it on this one, I fear. And then at the end of the shooting phase we can see if they want to fire again. I think so, they very much want to do that. The Termagants are not in range to shoot anything. The Leman Russ cannot shoot at anything, so we're gonna go for the 2 other Leman Russes. Both stood still, so they can fire their main gun twice, and heavy bolters are hitting on full ballistic skill, which is still 5s by the way, because that's how Allied Talk rules. Oh well. So 2 shots with the battle cannon, same squad. That's a decent amount of shots, but that's not important. Important is the hints, and this is 5s to hit. Very good hitting right there. 3s. Not so good with the rest. And this is AP2, I believe, as well. It's a Conqueror battle cannon. It's AP2 D3 damage, yeah. So gonna have, whoops. Let's see it. Nothing was saved, and then first one does 2, and the second one is irrelevant. It does something for sure. So it does another 2. It does not blow up, so that is 1 Viper destroyed. Blam. Heavy bolters in the same target. If I don't declare anything, you can assume all weapons fire in the same target, which is obvious. Otherwise, I would have declared it. Alright, hitting on 5s. That's more like it. Not hitting very well now. And wounding on 4s, because it's strength 5, with a -1 AP, so that's a 4-up armor save, so 1 goes through. And we can just remember that one. I'm just gonna put it over here, because the next Leman Russ we're gonna fire into the same squad. Gets a very good amount of shots with the battle cannon. Hitting on 5s though, and that was not as good as this guy before. But there is 3 wounds right here, which is nice. Armor saves. Ooh, very good armor saves. But 1 is going through with how much damage? Another 1. So we have 2 damage on a Viper, and then we have an additional shots with the heavy bolters, hitting on 5s, wounding on 4s, with a 4-up save, which is failed. So that's 3 wounds on a Viper. Probably this one. Okay, and that was pretty much it. I just realized I made a mistake there. I should have killed the last Viper over here. Oh well. To be honest, doing the maximum amount of damage to the Vipers is the most important part, because the Vipers will kill everything else, and the Wind Riders are not too relevant at dealing with Carnifexes or something like that. They are not as scary, but we'll see. Alright, so that was that, and the Tyranids will score a point for old school first strike if the Vipers would be able to run away. Unfortunately, they cannot run away because they have leadership 8, which is obviously very nice because they can never run away when they have 3 in their group. So basically we didn't care anything, but we did some decent damage. There's 1 wound off here, 3 wounds off here, 1 wound off here, and everybody else is fine, but we destroyed a bunch of them. Considering everything, which is pretty nice. Only problem is we did not move forward with very much, and if the or the screen is gone, this objective can be contested by the Eldar for sure. So they will get a point for holding one, but unfortunately not for the kill or first strike. So that's costing a lot. My opinion is we should use the command point and just try to finish off this pesky Viper, because that's worth 2 victory points. I think we were gonna employ the stratagem and allow the Hive Guard to shoot once more. So 6, 12 shots. It's a little bit overkill, but we have to make sure it works. If this doesn't work, we have big trouble. So all of this hits. 3s to wound, missing a bunch of wounds here. And it is toast. And it doesn't explode. Alright, perfect. So that panned out pretty well, because we spent the other 2 CP anyway. Might as well. The Eldar cannot roll for their command points because they already got 1 back this turn. And the Tyranids, will score kill 1, and they will also score first strike for old school. Big Game Hunter, I'm not sure, but I'm sure we're gonna have 4 of these very, very soon. I'm not sure how many died, but you can see there's enough vehicles for Big Game Hunter for sure. Marked for Death was not done, obviously, because that's the back rank, and then I wouldn't get points for Big Game Hunter in that case. But obviously I didn't deploy them very upfront. Okay, dokie. Next up is Eldar turn 1. And basically there's going to be very little movement, because I will actually use the 3 CP on the stratagem. Although on this part of the flank there is going to be some movement. If you didn't see him, there's a Warlock over here, hidden in this bush. He's trying to hold this objective. So we make sure this objective is held by us, this is held by us, so the Tyranids are forced to contest this objective. If they don't have it, they lose a bunch of points. Which is great for the Eldar, because obviously points is the way they will win. Alright, so these Vipers will move 20 inches, because they have 3 of them in their squad. And basically we're just gonna hop on top of here. It doesn't look very nice, but they have graph movement, so they can do just fine. Let's check if this one actually wants to be up there. Yeah, they are still in range of everything, so they can fire just fine, and then they will try to put pressure on this Marshal. These will probably all hold still. Just have to measure if the Farseer is in range. She is. What's about this Farseer? She's also in range to smite and whatnot. Okay, dokie. So, talking about smiting and whatnot, we're gonna go to the psychic stuff. There's 1 Neurothrop in deny range, and we'll see what's happening. So first of all, I'm gonna cast Doom on the first Carnifex, which doesn't go off on a 7, but we have a reroll with our runes, which doesn't. Okay, that's really bad. Doom is the most important, I think. Guide on the big squad of what's it called? Wind Riders. There we go. Goes off. I want to deny that if I can. Does not get denied at all, and they can't reroll 1 because this is not a psychic test. This is a deny. And I guess we're gonna put Fortune onto a It doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna put fortune on one of the biker squads, on the Viper squads, so they can contest the middle objective. So it's warp shot 7, goes off on a 9, and then Will of Asurjan I don't think we're gonna use because they will kill the Vipers anyway. There's no point of them at shooting at the Vipers. So I'm just gonna try to cast Smite on the Neothrope, which goes not on the Neothrope, on the Leman Russ, which goes off. And deals 3 mortal wounds to the Leman Russ. That's actually a pretty big deal, because that thing is tough to kill, for the Eldar at least. So taking some damage right there, and we good. Alright, so Doom didn't go off, which is very significant. Doom is very important, although not as important in this one because we're clearing it in range of any Carnifexes, but we could have put it onto either of these targets, and Doom is very powerful in that sense. Okay, now I'm gonna use my special Windrider host stratagem, which is gonna cost me a lot of command points, but we'll see about that. So before we forget it, do we get something back? Sorry, you need to go 3. No, and the Eldar. No. So nobody gets any command points for this, which means there is no more command point farming in effect, pretty much. For the Nids at least, because they only rely on the opponent. But everybody in this range here gets AP -1 or more. Basically +1 AP no matter what. Alright, did Guide off? I think so, right? Actually, I don't remember. Fortune went off, Smite went off, Doom failed, and I think Guide went off, because we tried to deny that one. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna start with the Windrider squad number 1. It's gonna put everything into the Termagants, because this is their turn to shine. The Termagants will get no saves because they advance this turn, and I have -1 to the shooting, which is really nice. So as I said, everybody has scatter lasers, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 4. 36 shots. And we're rerolling everything because of Guide. Pretty decent. Wounding on 2s because it's strength 6. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25. That's the whole squad. Gone. So we killed their entire objective secure. Although the Leman Russ is still holding this, which is actually a pretty significant deal. But I didn't want to put anything out of their range for this expensive stuff. And now we can continue shooting with the rest of the squad. I'm gonna put a lot of shots into the Hive Guard, since they do not have Catalyst active. And they are more squishy than the Carnifexes. The Carnifexes are very tough to kill for this army without Doom. But we will have Doom in range pretty soon. So all the Windriders were gonna open fire on the Hive Guard this turn. These will have their 3-up armor saves though, due to their cover rule. So this is gonna be a 4-up due to AP1 still. So we have 5 squads of 3. And we're not gonna reroll everything, just rerolling once because of the Autark. Wounding them on 3s though, which is nice, and let's see how much we can get. It's 2 wounds already off the first Hive Guard. I have 3 wounds each. Second squad. Something weird is happening here. Oh, I'm misclicking, okay. I was wondering why there's some pop-ups here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 3. What did I get? 4, yeah, whatever. So hitting on 3s, there's a lot of 2s here, that's not good because I can't reroll those. Wounding on 3s. And that is another wound. So 1 Hive Guard is killed. Next squad. Again, what's up with the 2s? We're barely getting any 1s though. That's really interesting stuff here. Very good wounding this time. Let's see how the armor saves go. Pretty much as expected. That's another 1 dead. The 4th squad. Scatter lasering. And it's another 2. And then 1 more time. Rewarding all these 1s, thankfully, because of the autark around. And still getting 2 1s. It's actually pretty low chance for that to happen. Very good wounding in return though, so it averages out. And very, very bad armor saves. Holy moly, that's 1 dead, 2 dead, and another 1 is damaged. So it's 4 dead and 1 is damaged. Let's take 1, 2, 3, and 1 damage right there. So that was pretty decent use of the AP -1, because they would have gotten +1 saves. And obviously the scatter laser strength is paying off here, because these things are toughness 5. And the carnifexes are toughness 7 and harder to hit, so it's very smart shooting at the hive guard first and not the fexes, because the fexes will essentially not die quick enough without doom. So that was the entire Wind Rider shooting. So now we can go to the Viper shooting, and we have 3 Vipers over here. They'll all open fire into this carnifex on the left flank. So this works a little bit different. We have less shots, but we have higher AP on 6s. So hidden on 3s. Oh, I deleted an additional one. And wounding on 5s and 6s, because it's only strength 6, but that is 3 vending shots, which is really good. So these are all 2-up saves on the carnifex. And it fails 1. And this here is a 2 plus 3 is 5. So 5-up armor save, which they make 1 of, so that's 3 wounds on this carnifex. That's actually very good performance by the first squad because of the rending. Then we have 2 Vipers over here. Not actually in range of that one. Maybe I should have measured that before. Nah, it's okay though. We're hitting at the we're shooting at the Leman Russ in this case. Might as well. The Leman Russ is pretty tough, but we wound them on 5s anyway, so it's not that big of a difference. Don't think so, at least. And we get to reroll 1s with these as well. And we get AP -1. So that's pretty decent. Gives us another shot, and then wounding on 5s and 6s. Ah, that was really terrible. That's why I said it's a good thing to have Doom on something. Doom on the Leman Russ would have been really nice to have. So that is 1 wound at AP -4, which means no saves. Drops down to 8. And as soon as he drops down to 6, he's basically useless in terms of pure damage output. Then we have 2 more Vipers doing the exact same thing to the Leman Russ. Again, rerolling those 1s for the autark. Not very useful this time. There we go, very good this time. That's 2 wounds flat and a 6-up save. 6-up save, what am I saying? A 4-up save, because he has a 3+ armor, which he also doesn't pass. So that's 3 wounds off the Leman Russ. And he's pretty close to getting blown up. Oh, I completely forgot my Warlock. Sorry. that Warlock needs to cast Conceal on himself. It's not a big deal, so it doesn't really matter if I do it right now. Yeah. But just so I don't forget about him. I always forget about this poor guy. So the Warlock is concealed for now. 2 Vipers over here, and then we have 3 Vipers back here. All in range of the Demon Rust, so might as well shoot at the Demon Rust, I guess. We might not have Doom, but the Demon Rust is a little bit easier to kill than the Carnifex. Okay, same for this one, rerolling once. Much better this time. 5s and 6s. Ooh, that is a lot of 5s. So this is 2 wounds, and then this is 4 up armor. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds of the Leman Russ. And that is a dead Leman Russ. Question is, does it blow up? It does not. But that is an objective deny, and that Neurothrop is now very, very on open field. I did not expect them to kill everything, especially not the Leman Russ, but they are really, really good with their rending this time. Okay, I guess we're gonna fire into the Neurothrop then, because might as well. So we have 1, 2, 3 Vipers remaining over here. And I believe that's it. So these 3 are gonna have to do. Not sure if they can do it, because he has a 3+ in 1 save, but then again he's toughness 4. So he's not that easy to, not that hard to hurt. Okay, that's no 1s, so we cannot reroll anything, unfortunately. And 3s to wound. Oh, that's not a good roll. I will see about this. 3 up saves on the Neuro. And that is 1, 2, 3 wounds going through. And the rending and everything doesn't matter. So he's still fine, and he will drop down to 2 wounds remaining. And I believe that is it. So in my opinion, a very good round of shooting came down. The Hive Guard efficiency is pretty crippled, so using the stratagem on these will probably not do the Tyranids any favors, and the idea to rush the objective with the Leman Russ did not work out, so that's a big blow in terms of points. Now the Eldar did kill something in shooting, so that's evened out in terms of points. And they get a kill for player turn, a hold for player turn, and then in terms of objective, Tyranids have this one and this one, and the Eldar did not move forward, so the Tyranids score an additional point for holding more at the end of battle round 1, but they did not kill more, because they had only 1 Viper squad was finished, and 1 tank in return was killed. So the Eldar killed the tank and the Termagants, which is 2 points, which means they killed more. So we have killed more versus hold more. It's 3 to 3 for that, and marked for death was achieved because of the squad's kill, and Big Game Hunter is also in effect because of the kill on the Leman Russ. And we also nearly got a point for Headhunter, but the Neurothrop fortunately survived. But now we're gonna have to move up the Carnifexes most likely, which is really a problem because they can't hit very well once they start moving. Alright, that is that. Now, next up we're gonna do some deep striking. Ripper Swarm is gonna deep strike over here, because I'm very worried about the life of my Warlord when these things come over here. And we need some objective secure to make sure that everything is alright on this objective. I put them over here. If I have to, I bring back my Termagants, but that's 3 CP. So that's 1 CP remaining and we're out, which is horrible. That's not a good position to be in. This Ripper Swarm, we have to see if we actually use it. We could drop it into here, or alternatively we could try to drop it into here, but we will be out of Synapse range, so this charge here is going to be a 12-inch charge, so no, that's not happening anytime soon. We could also try to drop them down here, but I think they will just get blown up and feed another kill point. So I think it's pretty smart to put them on here, so they have to invest firepower into them, and we get our objective no matter what. We can put them just out in the open, because there's no point in taking cover if you have already cover. Alright, so battle round number 2, Tyranids turn 2. We're gonna move forward. This is gonna be the march of the Carnifexes. I'm not gonna advance any Carnifexes. I know I have the ability to give them to remove the minus, but if I advance these, they will get blown to pieces. They will drop their armor saves down to a 2, which is really, really bad news if you are Carnifex against a gun line. So this one will touch the circle, which is really good. The Neurothrope will advance. He's gonna try to get out of here because he's a little bit hurt and he doesn't want to die a cruel death. So he's gonna hover over here, which should be fine. I think he's not that endangered yet. So moving forward 7 with this Carnifex as well. Another 7. Another 7. A 7 here. A 7 there. Hive Guard will obviously not move because they are already in bad shape as they are. The Neurothrope is going to advance right behind these Carnifexes, and trust me, you do not want to go to flank too much because this guy might still die to a flanking Viper squad, so that's maybe a little bit silly to put him there, but to be honest, the Vipers always can get an angle on them. They can just fly on top of them, which is a common problem here. Leman Russ will stand still for now. The Magos will... I guess he will advance as well, might as well. And he's gonna get tucked in behind here. Let me check his range real quick, but I'm pretty sure that his range is only 18 on Mass Hypnosis. Correct, that is 18. So he's not gonna be in effect for any shenanigans yet, because he's too short ranged. And I believe... Oh yeah, before I forget, obviously the Marshal will move out of range from these freaking Vipers. And he would do that before the Rippers, because the Rippers would come in at the end of the movement phase. I always do it as soon as I remember, but you know, technically speaking, he can pass through there, no issue. And that's it. Movement done. Psychic phase will start. So let's hope we get some stuff off here. I'm going to start with Onslaught onto the front Carnifex. So one of these Carnifexes will ignore the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons, which is very nice. It's a 7, so it can be denied pretty easily. Let's see. That's an 8. Shadow in the Warp might be in range. I'm not sure about that one though. No, Shadow in the Warp is not in effect, so that is enough for a deny. Onslaught is denied. Since Shadow in the Warp is not in effect, Smite is not in range either. And that means we go straight to Catalyst, and we're gonna put Catalyst on, let's see, probably the Hive Guard still, because if I put it on the Carnifex, that's not gonna matter anyway, because they're gonna shoot something else, not that Carnifex. So let's put it on the Hive Guard. The Hive Guard is still endangered species right now. So it's a 9, which is really hard to deny. That's a 9 though, so I can reroll one of these, I think, when denying. I'll check afterwards. It doesn't matter, it does not get denied, so that's a Catalyst this time on the Hive Guard. I'm gonna put a die on him just in case I forget. There we go. And that was a pretty uneventful psychic phase for now, but that's okay. So every Carnifex is shooting at the same rate, so that's nice to remember. Now, this Vampire Squad over here has to die, so I'm thinking about putting my Leman Russes in them. And this one can't see much, but obviously this part of the hole can see it. So all of these will get cover from him. Yeah, they will get cover. Not from this guy though, but this Leman Russ here is gonna open fire into them. Actually, what's the range here? He's not in range. So 2d6 from the main cannon. Very good performance from the main cannons here. No, I mean not in general, but as good as it gets against this kind of shenanigans. 5s and 3s. What did I say about the performance? I mean, I was probably lying. Damage. 2 damage on the first Viper. Actually, I forgot to fire the Stormbolter. I should have done that before and get my rerolls. I got punished. Let's try that again. Not bad. 2 wounds. 1 saved though, so it's another wound on the first Viper. Let's do the Stormbolter anyway, obviously. No. Drops him down to 4 wounds. Second Leman Russ will fire his coaxial Stormbolter this time, so we get the +1. No hits, but it doesn't matter, I think. I think it's just about whether or not you shoot at the desired target. Yes, so now we can reroll misses with the main gun. Let's see how many shots the main gun gets. 8, which is average. And we are hitting on 5s. We cannot reroll those 4s though, because those are after modifiers. And 3 hits with the battle cannon, 2 wounds, 2 failed saves, damage, 2, and 1. Drops this Viper down to 1 for now. And then we also have the heavy bolters, but they might be able to finish the job, which would be nice. No, that's a clear no. Nothing hits. Alright then, so I guess somebody else has to do the job. I think the Hive Guard is going to take a pot shot at them, because they're not really killing anything this game, I think. So might as well try. We're going to put 2, 4, 6 shots into the Vipers. And hitting on 4s. Oh, come on. And no wounds. Do I want to reroll that? Because I really need to get rid of the squad. I think I'm gonna put more Carnifexes in them then. Yeah, we're very limited with our shooting now. That's a little bit annoying. How is the line of sight? It's pretty good. Yeah, all the Carnifexes can basically see and have unlimited vision, and everybody's in range as well. Okay, so I'm going to open fire with the Carnifex in the back, because they might not be in range of the Vipers anyway. So, let's start with the small stuff, because we moved. Hitting on 4s. Winning on 3s. And 1 goes through. Perfect. It does not blow. Then the Venom Cannon. 2 shots. Hitting on 5s, because they moved. And 1 wound. No save. So that one goes blam, and this one takes 3 wounds. Carnifex number 2. How many shots? 2 shots with the venom cannon. No hits. 3 hits with the devours or death spitters, sorry. 2 wounds. 1 goes through. Drops this one down to 2. Third Carnifex. I'm thinking about firing the death spitters first. I think that's the smarter play. Oh, my goodness. Or not. A 1 hit, and basically doesn't matter, but it makes it safe anyway. And then we have the heavy venom cannon with 2 shots. 1 hit, 1 wound, and 1 save. That's a lot of 6s. Carnifex number 4. Same idea. Oops, sorry. It's 2 dice missing. That's 3, 4. Not bad. Wounding on 3, sorry. And these are 4 ups. There we go. So did that one perfectly. First one is dead, doesn't blow up. Heavy venom cannon gets only 1 shot and misses anyway. Okay, so that one is at least killed as well. Okay. We have 2 more Carnifexes remaining. Now we have to make sure that we kill something. So either we kill this Viper here, which is not very likely at the moment, to be honest, or we try to single out another Viper target here. But I think they are all pretty healthy at the moment, so no point. I think we're gonna try to kill this one, because this threatens our Ripper squad, and with that our objective secure and our HQ, which is not a good thing to happen. Yeah, I'm gonna open fire more Carnifexes, I think. Yeah, more Carnifexes is always a good solution. Unfortunately, we're not hitting very well because we're moving around with heavy weapons and Alightok is overpowered as heck, but you know. 1 shot with the venom cannon. Hits on a 5 and does not wound on a 2. 6 shots with the spitters. 3 hits. Come on. Very good wounding as well. Unfortunately, that's actually, let's check that out. I mean, technically it's not obscured at all, right? No. It's gonna take 2 wounds here. All right. Let's see if we can finish it off. Not bad. 3 shots. No hits. And then the death spitters. 4. And that's 3. And those are all 4 ups. No. It takes 3 wounds? I think 3 wounds. Unfortunate. Did not get the Carnifex's damage in as much as I thought. But as you can see, as soon as the Carnifex horde is moving, their shooting is actually pretty meh. And I think this is going to be the Tyranids army's downfall, because now this amount of stuff can charge and shoot at them. And that might sound crazy, but these Carnifexes are not very good at dealing with a lot of stuff around them, which can be abused by the Eldar. For sure. Okay, so in this case, let's see what else we do. We do not charge anything, and we're gonna count our objectives. So what did we do? We did not kill anything for Marked for Death. Old School is not possible, and Big Game Hunter is already done because I just assumed they will kill enough. We do hold 1. Unfortunately, we did not kill 1 as far as I remember. Because, yeah, we fired a bunch of shots into these squads here, but there's nothing dead. This one is very low, but nothing killed, I think. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think they killed anything. So that's gonna be 1 point this turn for the holding a objective for the Nids. Leaves them at 9 points at the moment because of their secondaries. Okay. So that sounds like Eldar turn 2. And now there's gonna be a bunch of movement because we didn't have any reason to move last turn, but this turn we probably have because this Carnifex needs to die. These Rippers need to die. And then we need to get this objective under our control. If we control the middle objective, the Nids will lose the game. We can kill these 2 guys off, these 3 guys off if we want to, but they do have Feel No Pain, so it's a little bit tougher to kill them than it usually would. So we'll see how the Psychic phase goes, how Guide goes, how Doom works out, and then we will see about that. So movement. This Viper is obviously going to try to get sneaky now and not get killed. So it's going to jump down from its hiding spot up here. And jump somewhere where it can't be seen. Let's see if the Carnifexes can draw line of sight. They can. And they are in range. So I'm going to hover it a little bit back so it can't be targeted. Unfortunately, it can't really see much. Or you can see the Ripper Swarm over there. Right there is a Ripper Swarm. So that's all it needs to do. It just needs to harass this objective. That's the job of a Viper most of the time. So next time we're gonna see where the Viper squads will go. Now comes an interesting part of the game. I think the plan would be killing off 1 Carnifex, this one, charging the remaining Carnifexes so they can fire, which might sound crazy, but as long as they don't take out the entire squad, which is very, very unlikely, I get to shoot next turn because I always have fly. All my units can charge in and fly away and shoot still. And the Carnifexes can't. The Carnifexes are incredibly boned if they can't finish off their target in close combat, because they can neither fall back and shoot, nor they can fall back and charge anything. So they have to stay in close combat. And I think we have enough wounds for them to blob them down and essentially make sure this objective can never be secured, because we kill off these things here, and then hopefully that will be enough for that game. Alright, so desperate times, desperate measures, you know the drill. I think we're gonna go for it. We're gonna try to kill off the Hive Guard and make sure they do not control this objective, because if that happens, we get to hold this objective no matter what, because the Rippers die very, very easily. The Carnifex is not objective secure, so we will get this objective. We hold this one, we hold this one, so we get more than the Tyranids. And we're also working towards the bonus point, because the mission here is what's yours is mine. And that can be very nice to have. Alright, so these Vipers here can still move their 20. And I think I'm gonna go after the... Let's see that. We can get up here and snipe the Neothrope. I think that's worthwhile, because that's 1 point. I'm gonna go with the charge plan, so these Vipers here will essentially jump over here. And they're still closer to the Carnifexes, so they will not shoot at the Neothrope most likely, but that's alright with me. I'm just trying to push my ground forward here. We have a second squad that's also capable of moving very, very fast. And and we're gonna sneak those right next to the Ripper Swarm. So we get additional peek into the objective zone. Then this squad of Vipers is gonna move out. They're 16 because they're a little bit slower since they lost some members already. And then these guys here will also move out as close as they can get to the Ripper Swarm. Like so. The Farseer is gonna make sure to stay out of 18 if she can. Just right in that bush. So she can still charge the Rippers if she wants to, but we are in range with Doom, but we are not in the shadow of the warp yet, which is nice. I'm then gonna advance my other Farseer. Any dice here? There's no dice here. So the Farseer on foot is gonna move. Right over here. Because getting smite in range is gonna be the most important part of this game. We can even smite the Rippers. At this point I do not mind smiting anything pretty much. Alright, the Autark is not gonna do something too crazy. He's just gonna move over here. And he's gonna try to murder those Ripper Swarms. And he's gonna give everybody +1 to hit that is hanging around here, which is really a good thing to have. It's gonna affect both of these squads. And I'm not gonna move with the Wind Riders. I think these will stand still. And because they are the biggest squad and I want to guide them. But the other ones will move forward. Over here to do a little bit of a dance around here because I want to hold that objective and still connect to my squad like so. And just in case the Carnifexes get rid of all my stuff, I still have enough units to charge in later. I think these will hold still for now, because they're still in range of the Hive Guard, so might as well. I think we have enough stuff in the middle for now. Alright, let's go with the Psychic Shenanigans. So before I forget him, talking about him, the Warlock that's over here will not be able to reach anything, so I'm just gonna let him stay. But he should cast Conceal on him anyway, just to make sure that he doesn't get picked off at some point if the Tyranids actually get to shoot at him. Alright, so he's gonna cast Conceal on himself, and that fails. We're gonna put Doom on the Carnifex. That is a fail. We can reroll this, and it goes off because we are not in the shadow of the warp. Guide also on the big squad, obviously, on the guys that actually make use of it. And the freaking deny. Nah, no deny. I didn't want to deny Doom because that doesn't matter, but Guides should have been denied. Unfortunate. I hope that doesn't kill the Hive Guard, because that might very well do it. Then this one here is going to cast... I don't know about this. The good thing about this is +1 to deny the Witch, which basically means I almost always deny Catalyst. But I think I'm just gonna go for the Smite. That goes off. I can try to reroll this for a Super Snipe if I want to. Smite. I think I will, just for the lulz. Goes off on a 7 anyway. It's another... Yeah, another one would be in range for sure. It's 24 deny, so it's... no, that's no deny. Okay, so wait, I'm gonna roll it over here. That's 2 mortal wounds into the closest unit, which is obviously a bunch of rippers. So this ripper takes a wound, and that is that for psychic. Going to the shooting, I'm gonna put the autarch into the ripper swarm. Try to peel off that last wound. I only get 1, unfortunately, 1 plasma grenade. Hitting on a 2 though. And wounds. It's AP -1, but they have cover and a 6+ save. No, that is 1 Ripper Swarm base killed, which is nice, because that might have tanked my D3 damage from my glaive. We're also gonna put the twin shuriken catapult into them, because why not? Might as well, because we have the we did pay for the Wind Rider stuff, so why not use her? It's 4 shots, right? Yeah, it's 4 shots, and it also has the same special rule. A Ripper Swarm is only toughness 3, so it's pretty easy to kill. Hitting on 2s though, because we are fast here, and I need those 6s again, please, because that would be a lot of... Oh yeah, there we go. Not bad. So that's 1 armor save. No, that is 3 damage on the Ripper Swarm. Base is destroyed from the rending shots from the shuriken. Okay, so far so good. That's all my Gribbly stuff. I think the Ripper Swarm would be dead because we're charging in. This is the kind of effects that's duped, by the way, obviously. It's the only one that matters. Everybody else is not in range of the objective. So that's good for me. I'm going to open up with the guided Wind Riders. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And even though they have Catalyst, I will shoot at the Hive Guard. They need to die. Rerolling everything, fortunately. And wounding on 3s, because we're strength 6 against toughness 5. That's some misses. These are 3 ups again, because this is not AP -1 anymore. And these are 5 ups. Wow, look at that. Catalyst saving the day right there. So only 1 Hive Guard takes a wound. Catalyst be praised. And that means I'm gonna have to invest some more firepower into those. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 more. If you want to, I'm just gonna do it one at a time because it's obviously overkill to not do so. Not rerolling anything, unfortunately. Very good wounds though. And that's 3 failed wounds with Catalyst. Catalyst saves another wound, which is really sweet. And 1 more Hive Guard is killed. 1 more Hive Guard takes a wound, which obviously is bad. Next squad. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. 3 up armor / cover. Will feel no pain. No feel no pain this time, but still pretty decent. Kills the next Hive Guard, and there's 1 Hive Guard remaining. I'm gonna open fire again because I want to deny that sweet point. Pretty good hitting as well. Wounding is also very sweet. Armor saves are failed, and let's see if Feel No Pain can save the day. No, Feel No Pain has failed. But overall, actually, that Feel No Pain was very good, because the first one was way over the top. Okay, So that one is clear. One objective more. Now we still have a bunch of Wind Riders that moved. We have all the Vipers to try to make use of that Doom. Let's start with the front Vipers, shall we? We have 6 shots per Viper. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Didn't matter. Wounding on 5s and 6s. Oh, very good roll already, but it's doomed. Although it has a 2+ save. Ouch, 2 saves failed, and then that's another fail with a 1 even. So 3 wounds off the Carnifex. That is a good start. Second Viper squad also gonna do the same thing. See if we can grab that objective and put down a Carnifex in the process, which would be very helpful. Rerolling the 1, didn't matter, again. Oh, no, just 1 6, but we reroll with Doom, and that is another 3 wounds addition. 1 wound is failed with the armor save, and that's another wound failed for the rend. So Carnifexes drops another 2 wounds. Next Viper squad. Into the same Carnifex. Actually, 6, yeah. Did fail to make the math, but my muscle memory didn't fail. Alright, pretty good hitting. Wounding is not that well, but we have a rend, and that's another rend and 2 normal wounds. 2 up armor, this time passed. And then -3 to this, so this is a double fail for the Fex, and it drops down to 1 wound remaining. Now the question is, do I actually want to kill it, or do I try to put some more firepower in a different Carnifex? It's actually a legit question, because I could try to charge the Autarch into the Carnifex, who will probably kill it, because he has D3 on the Starglaive, 4 attacks on the charge, rerolling once, no Overwatch because Banshee Mask. I don't think I want to be greedy, but I'm gonna put the Wind Riders that moved into it and see how that turns out. They might get lucky with a few shots, and they're not doing that much anyway, so might as well just try and go for it. So hidden on 4s because they moved and they have heavy weapons, and rerolling all these ones, thank God, because of the Autarch that's next to them. And that is 5s and 6s. Re-rolling. As you can see, Wind Rider is not very good at dealing with Carnifexes, and that is a 2 up save because it is basically immune to shooting because of its extras. So that's pretty good. Oh, I think I made a huge mistake. This one should have a -1 because of Spore Cysts. That is my mistake. Might matter, might not matter. If it doesn't die, hopefully it didn't matter too much. I wasn't shooting much at the Carnifexes right now, so I wasn't paying attention, but these things have -1 to hit. The other ones do not have, because they have this as an upgrade. My bad. They have both the benefit of cover and this one. So this one would be hidden on 5s. That would be correct. Rerolling once though. I thought they are dying too quickly. There's something wrong here. No wounds though. That's more like it. 3 wounds. Okay, so that's a correct wound. How do we do this? I think it's unfair if this Carnifex dies. I'm not sure if it should die. I'm gonna put this Viper squad into that Carnifex as well. It will kill it, even with hitting 1 less. We have on average enough shots. because we would have missed about 10, maybe 12 shots, and we have 18 additional shots with the remaining Vipers. So I think that's a fair deal. So this Carnifex will die. Does it go into death throes? No. And that's that. It's not super significant because the Carnifexes will probably be useless for the rest of the game. But, you know, they might actually punch a Viper down. So that is significant still, and I wanted to be fair here. Okay, so that's that. I believe everything has fired except one Viper back here. One Viper into the Scarabs, or whatever that is. Rippers. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 2s. 5 up because of our high fleet. And that saves actually 1 wound. Very nice, because these things run away very quickly. And they do not have Synapse right now. The Synapse is very, very far away. Excellent stuff. So next up is a bunch of charging. First up, the Autark is gonna charge who? That's the question. We gotta do this a little bit sneaky. The Autark is gonna charge the front 3 Carnifexes. Now that might sound stupid, but he has a Banshee Mask, so they can't Overwatch him, and he might tank the Overwatch for everybody else. So let's see how that turns out. That turns out to be a massive failure. Obviously the Ripper swarms as well, but you know, he doesn't make it anyway. I don't think we have anything to reroll that. That's really unfortunate. Because now we have to take a bunch of Overwatch shots. The Ripper Swarm is also still alive. That could really ruin our day, because they will still control the middle objective. But we can get sneaky here. We can just charge these Vipers into the Neothrope and take this objective. So it's not that big of a deal whether or not it survives, but still. So in this case, I'm thinking I'm gonna do it differently. These 2 Vipers will charge the front Carnifex, and then these 3 will also charge this one. Let's do some math here. 1 shot, 1 miss. 6 shots, all miss. 1 shot, 1 miss. 6 shot, all miss. Wounding on 3s, and that's it. So Overwatch has failed. Let's see if they both make it in. First Viper squad. Makes it on a 7. Goes in like so. Staying 1 inch away from this Carnifex, obviously. That's a bit space actually. Yeah, that's fine. And then this one automatically makes it pretty much 6. Yeah, it's fine. Then this one and this one. Then we have these 3 Vipers here, all charging the Neothrope because he doesn't have any Overwatch. And let's say 7. It can just move around like that. Should be enough. And if not, we can still pile. There's really no big deal in making these charges more complicated. The pile-in will most likely always be successful in that case. Viper squad number 6 into the Ripper Swarm. Like so. The Farseer into the Ripper Swarm. Makes it easy peasy. The Wind Riders also make it easy peasy. Actually, not this one, but yeah, I was gonna say this is really weird. Basically like so. The second Wind Rider squad. 8. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, but I think we can make it. Like so. And there's still gonna be some room for the Farseer to charge. Farseer, 10 inches. Actually, no, she advanced, right? I think she advanced. Oh, wait a second. This is wrong. Let's rewind that, because this squad was supposed to hold this. Right. I remember now. I have no idea where they went. But these guys should hold this objective. This one can charge, and the autark failed his charge. There we go. Now we have it properly. I was derping there for a second because I wanted to make room for a Farseer that can't even charge because she advanced. Alright. Over here I'm not gonna charge the Ripper Swarms, or do I? Yeah, might as well. There's no point in not doing it, pretty much. 7 is probably not enough. 7 brings me... it's just short. Okay. So that's that. Everybody who's in combat is safe from the Leman Russ now, and basically there's 2 Carnifexes tied up, and once we pile in, we basically can tie up every Carnifex for eternity, unless they punch their way free, which is also possible. Alright, let's resolve the fighting here. So as you can see, this Viper here can pile in, as you might say, and will get this objective. This one cannot really pile much, it can just move a little bit further, and this one will stay here, so the Neothrop is locked in combat. We get our lousy 3 attacks with weapon skill 6, so this is not going to do any damage, but that's not the point. The point is repositioning ourselves. I'm just going to do the Neothrop's attack as well, because, you know. What's his weapon skill? It's crappy. So no. Then over here, Viper squad number 5 is going to pile in. Like so. So we lock out both of these Carnifexes. And 2 attacks, hit not 6s. No. Then the Viper is gonna pile in 3 inches into the closest model, which is this Carnifex. And is gonna touch every single Carnifex in the fight. This one is gonna block the Carnifex from entering the objective. This one is just gonna chill a little bit. They don't plan on staying close combat anyway. So 1 attack into this Carnifex hits actually. Wow. Wounds, also wounds, and that's an armor save because 3 up armor save. Yeah, this one can actually attack too. This Viper is also in close combat, and this Viper is in combat because of this one. Again, hitting, wounding. Can they do it? Ah, unfortunately, no. Alright. Farsia has 2 attacks with her Witchblade, hitting on 2s, and wounding on 2s, because it's a Witchblade. Yep. 6 up saves, because it's AP dash, I think. Oh, unfortunately they made one. Because this might actually be very relevant. We get the D3 damage, I think, on the weapon. Let's see. I rarely attack with something like this in close combat. Okay, it is AP dash, so we get 1 chance here to one-shot the Scarab base. Come on. Yay! 3 damage, and that Scarab base is toast. Which means we do not get to pie an attack with these things here, but that's all fine. We get to keep the objective, which is obviously very nice. You know how it's meant. This Viper is supposed to block the Carnifex, so there's no more objective holding here unless the Carnifexes fight their way through. I think that is combat for that. So the Carnifexes will get to take back. Each Carnifex has the same idea. They all have 4 attacks because of their basic attacks, and they have 1 Bone Mace, which they can make 1 attack with. Now, unfortunately, they did not charge, which means they do not get to hit on 3s. They get to hit on 4s. So this is going to be a little bit painful for something that is supposed to be good in close combat. Okay, that was not exactly what I meant. So that fails. The Treasure Scythe hits though, and it wounds. And it is a 4-up armor save. No. How much damage does it do? Bone Mace, sorry. D3. So it's actually quite lucky that that one did its job. Okay, so we take 2 wounds on this Viper. Next. 2 hits. It's strength 7, or is it strength 6? Strength 6. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. Nothing. And the tail does fail to wound. Next one. It's 2. We take a wound on the Viper back here. Tail whiffs. And next one. Whiffs all together. Next one. Oh yeah, 2 wounds actually, as wounding on 3s. Both armor saves made, and that's that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why you can charge a Duckerfix. It's just not very powerful. It does a lot of damage if it can hit something and whatnot, but they do not have any stuff to deal with us now. This is something you can abuse if your army has a lot of flying units, because I can still run away and shoot next turn. And basically half of my army is secure from enemy fire, and it blocked off the main firepower source of these Carnifexes. Obviously, Alitok doesn't want to get up close, but if they have to, I might as well. Can't go wrong with that one, right? Alright. That is the fighting done. Because the jet bikes don't get to fight, because they went out of the fight at the beginning. Okay. So after everything is said is done, the Tyranids hold just 1 objective, which is back here. The Eldar hold this one, this one, this one, and this one, which is obviously a lot of objectives. But let me check the missions real quick, because I imported the wrong mission here. It's Mario 4, but yours is mine. The bonus point is achieved if a player controls both of the objectives they placed on the table, and that is basically you put one into your deployment zone, which is the one the Eldar hold at the moment, and then you place one objective in the opponent's deployment zone, which is this one. So I do score an additional point for bonus point this turn. We did kill something, we do hold something, we get a bonus point. We managed to kill a unit here. We managed to kill a Carnifex, so we did kill more in total, which is another point. And we obviously hold more. That's 5 points this round to the Tyranids. 1 point. That's actually pretty significant. So the score is now absolutely evened out. We do score another point for Big Game Hunter or Mark for Death, whatever you like, because of killing a Carnifex in the process. No Headhunter still, but the HQs are very much in sweat right now, because these things can flank them very easily now, and basically the character rule doesn't do anything if you're just locked in combat and then they shoot you next turn, because this thing will not run away. It's gonna die, and it is a Warlord right here. But hope is not lost. We can still try to fight. Let's see how it goes. In battle round 3, turn 3, Tyranids and Jeetstar Colts and Astronomy Town. So these things here will have to stay where they are, I believe. Because, yeah, I guess this Ripper Swarm is going to move a little bit to the side. This is going to drop down. So the Marshal can hide in all between of them. So the dirty, pesky Viper here can't touch them. Because I don't want to lose my Warlord as well. That's not a good idea at all. Tanks will hold still. They suck in close combat. No point in getting them anywhere close. The Magos might actually go into some close combat as well, because he's one of the very few guys that can actually do something close combat. So he's gonna move forward towards here. And he's gonna die anyway. There's no point on hiding in this case. There is he has no room here for hiding. The only thing that can hide something is another character, and that one sadly does not work. This Neurothrope, I don't know, he's pretty boned. Yeah, I guess he's gonna move towards here as well, just so we can put our smite into this Viper. And that is my movement. There's not really much to move. I'm thinking about bringing back the Tyranids with Endless Swarm. Unfortunately, we only can get back some Termagants, and I tell you, these Termagants will die very, very, very fast again. And yeah, they basically cannot deal any damage to the Vipers. Trust me on this. Even with the +1 to wound, they just inherently suck against anything like that. The best they can do is 13, 13, 6, and then it's 2 wounds on average, and I spent 2 CP for that. I don't think that's worth it, because if I use this, the Eldar have a chance of getting more command points, and I think they are in the driving seat anyway. I don't think there's much point in doing so. So let's see what else we can do. We can try to do something like this on a Tyranid. Might work. Is probably bad though. This one might be worth it in the end. This doesn't work in close combat, obviously. Not damage increasing possible. This one is useless. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. There's not too much stuff that can work here. We can go for regeneration, but the Carnifexes are not dying too fast. That's not the issue here. The issue is that we are bound in close combat. I'm not really sure there's anything we can do about this. I think our best bait is Rush's Appetite, because it only costs us 1 CP. And yeah, I think that's our best bet for now. So let's do the Psychic real quick. We're gonna put Catalyst on this kind of fix over here. Pass. Does it get denied? Rerolling one. No, does not get denied. So Catalyst is in effect on that Carnifex. It's a little bit hard to mark. Basically, this Carnifex is gonna go slightly off-colored. Smite. Oh, passes. Maybe. Yes, does pass. That's a super smite, so it's gonna deal d6 damage. Boom, 4 damage in one of these Vipers, which inherently doesn't do anything, but you know, 4 damage is 4 damage. I take that any day. Magos is gonna cast Mass Hypnosis on this Viper squad. Doesn't pass on a 6, unfortunately. Neothrope is gonna cast Onslaught is irrelevant. Smite, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. Can Onslaught actually save something from close combat? Though not if it fell back, no. So falling back doesn't help with the Onslaught. I maybe thought I made a mistake there, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, so this is Matarino. And there's a 39, no. How much? 1 wound into actually this Viper here. And that is Psychic. Alright. Shooting is gonna go very fast. We have 2 Leman Russ, and I guess we're gonna fire at that squad of Vipers, because it's the only Viper squad that we can see, and that is shootable. Actually, what's the range here? No, we are still more than 12 away, so we're still hitting basically never. Okay, so Stormbolter first. Misses. How many battle cannon shots? 7, so it's exactly average. Whoops, that's 1-1. And 5s and 6s. Rerolling though. Actually, no, we could not reroll this one. This was a 4, and that is a miss after reroll. So it's still 4 hits, which is not bad. That's pretty decent. We missed 1 wound though. Didn't matter too much. Whoop, sorry. That's 2. 2, 2, 1. Check that out. 2, 2, 1. Okay. We're making progress here. We killed another Viper, exactly. Next Demon Rush, same thing. Stormbolter. 1 hit. Nada. How many shots? A battle cannon is really performing well in terms of how many shots they get, I really must say. It did not fail me 1 time. It's always average or above average. They're not hitting anything, but you know, they're trying. It's 2 hits. Can't reroll those 4s. 1 wound. And the Vipers never made 1 save for the battle cannon, actually. And it's only AP-2, so they could make a 5-up technically. But they don't want to. So it's 2. And then we also have the heavy bolters. 2 hits. Not rerolling here because it's only for the main cannon. No. So that Viper takes a wound. And I believe that is pretty much my shooting. I can put a bolt gun shot into the Viper with the Marshal, and I do miss. Okay. Never mind then. No more shooting. So, Chargerinos. Magos is gonna charge this Viper. Rah. This Neurothrope. Might as well get all the attacks that we can. Yeah, we know he's in. He's just wobbling around here. All of these are already locked in combat, so there's no point on trying to do anything. Okay, let's do the combat over here. We have the Magus. The Magus is not that terrible in close combat, which is a good thing, because it's the last thing he will do most likely, and next turn he's probably dead. So, might as well get some out of it. He has a Force Staff, which is Strength +2, so he's Strength 5, AP -1, D3 damage on 3 attacks. Not terrible, not terrible. So, 1, 2, 3. That's too many. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s, because he's Strength 5 at the moment. And that is a 4+ armor save on the Viper, which is failed. Excellent. That is 2 wounds. Does the Viper blow? Of course it does. So this Viper blows up, and he takes 1 mortal wound himself. Okay. The Neurothrope takes 1. That was not good. The Carnifex, ouch, takes 3. That's really, really, really bad. Actually, no. Phenopain. It has Catalyst, I remembered. No, that Carnifex did not remember Phenopain, unfortunately. It's almost dead. And that Carnifex also takes 3. That is actually game losing, unfortunately. Okay. What's the explosion range on a... Because these are all in range no matter what, but I need to see the wording on the Viper. Within 3, okay. So it will not touch this one. Will touch this one though. Well, that one takes 2 wounds, drops down to 3. And 2. Okay. That was not good, to be honest, because he did 2 wounds there, 3 wounds there, 3 wounds there. That's so much wounds in terms of damage output for the Eldar, because the only thing they can't kill very fast is Carnifexes, and those are just took a high beating, and that's on one with low wounds as well. So that one's pretty much dead. Yeah. No bueno. Neurothrope is now out of combat. Is this thing even in combat? It's not. It's out of combat as well. So this Carnifex cannot even fight. Ouch. That was no good. So this Carnifex will try to go. Very underwhelming attacks. That does manage to punch 1 though. So that's good. Then we have a Teddy Swing, which misses. Next. Pretty decent. No, nothing. Teddy Swing. Yes. Yes. And no. Next one. Ah, not bad. They're hitting better than last time, at least. 2 wounds. 1 passed, 1 goes through. Actually, we can roll the next one as well. Also passed, okay. This Viper takes 1. That's that. Oh yeah, right. The tail... no. Damn it. Goddamn tails. 1 Neurothrope is gonna bite a Viper. Nom. It hits. It wounds. And there we go, he bit 1. easy peasy. Maybe it's gonna blow up and kill them as well. Might actually be the case, so that's not good. Okay, as you can tell, that was one big brawl, but in the end, there's one big issue the Tyranids have. They still did not destroy a unit, because this is still alive, this is still alive. They are all squads, so you have to kill all of them. Doesn't count anything. It does count for Big Game Hunter, because it's enemy models, but for nothing else, pretty much. So, yeah. We do hold an objective, though. So that's 1 point for the Nids because of the Rippers from the Marshal. They are doing very good work. Everybody else is basically failing. Okay, and now it's gonna be the turn 3 for the Eldar, and this is the problematic turn, because the Carnifexes have one little issue. They do need Synapse still, and if they run out of Synapse, they get a little bit antsy about everything. So it means if we want to charge something, which would we really like to, because we have living battery ram and that causes mortal wounds, but we get -1 to shooting if we don't target the nearest enemy unit, which obviously somebody can easily abuse, and we subtract -2 from the charge roll. So these things will not get anywhere, pretty much, and that's bad. So also these things will feed killing points, which is obviously terrible as well, but you know, just trying to point that out. So now basically we're gonna pull out with the Vipers, and the Wind Riders will go in for the tanking. That's all we need to do every turn. So this Viper here is going to move out of combat. It's not actually out of combat, it's actually was still in combat. Okay, so it's gonna jump over here. So we still get our bonus point. These things here will jump out of combat and over here to threaten the actually, how far can we move? I always forget the special rule because we barely use them. Blade Wind 20. Okay, so we have 20 movement. That was correct. So now they threaten to get these Gribblies off the objective, which means we don't even have to fight for the middle objective, which means the Tyranids just lose on points. That should not happen. Otherwise they're in trouble. The Farseer is out of combat because she destroyed her target last time, so she can charge yet again. And she's probably gonna go for these tanks, because if we can take these tanks out, that's also nice. The Autark is gonna jump 14 inches towards here, because we want to make that Carnifex suffer. This Viper squad is gonna move over here. Just trying to make sure we get to see anything. And Carnifexes have cover anyway, so might as well do that. Actually, I'm not sure if I want to keep the Warlock on there. I think he would have been pretty useful, but you know, you win some, you lose some, you learn something. I think Wind Riders will hold still because I want them to fire. Actually, these things have to move in, so the Carnifexes still are locked in close combat. Yeah, I think so. So the Wind Riders will actually try to move in. So let's jump them right in the middle here, so they're away from all the Carnifexes, basically holding the objective, and the Viper will stay in close combat to tank the Overwatch. So there's not going to be any Overwatch from these Carnifexes. We're just going to pile into them, and that's it. Okay, I believe that is it for movement. Everything else here is standing still. The Farseer is still in range of guide, and everything has their firepower at hand. The only thing that needs to move is this one, so we can finally get rid of those goddamn Gribblies and the Marshal. And it's gonna jump as close as we can get, so we can contest this objective as soon as the Ripper Swarms are fleeing. Which they might do. If I kill one base, that might actually trigger that. Okay, that's it. We're gonna start with some psychic shenanigans. So obviously we want Doom and Guide. So we're gonna start off with Guide. Do not pass that. Do we want to reroll or do we want to reroll Doom? I think we want to reroll Doom. It's more likely that we need it than Guide. So Doom doesn't go off, so we reroll that one. And we still do not make it. My goodness. This Farseer is gonna cast Smite. Reroll this one. 8. Which goes off because it drops down to 7 to Shadow of the Warp, and we still do not deny that. So we're gonna smite the... Actually, who did I fortune last turn? I think I forgot some important fortune rolls for some of my jet bikes. It was one of my 3 units. Actually, I can redo that real quick. Yeah, we took... How's that even possible? Something wrong with the wound distribution. This should be down to 2. And these still should get their catalyst save. I absolutely forgot those. My catalyst saves, basically. So they're getting back 2 wounds here, because I forgot to put it on the Vipers. Did not forget it for this kind of effects though. It's nice. And Smite went off. So who's closest? Who's gonna take it to the face? I think it's this one. This is closer than this one, yeah. That Carnifex takes another 3 wounds. So Carnifexes are getting really low here, and if they go into death throes, they have a huge problem at hand. We'll see. So, we still have the CP points, but have to be very careful with those. Then we have the Warlock over here. He's gonna go with Conceal himself, just so I remember and don't forget, and he is gonna fail anyway, as always if I do that. So no more casting other than 1 power from the Farseer. She's gonna pass the what's it called? The Phenopane one onto the Viper, which passes on an 11, and it's pretty much undeniable. Yeah. No, nothing from the Neothropes. So Doom and did Doom actually go off? I think it didn't. Guide didn't go off, Doom didn't go off, Smite went off, and Phenopane went off. Okay, so pretty successful, to be honest. There's 2 Carnifexes nearly dead, and then the other 3 we can basically all tie up in close combat. Which is nice. So first of all, we're gonna shoot the Shuriken Catapult from the Farseer, before I forget her, because I always do, into the Magos. Hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s. That's all wounds, and I think he has a 5-up save or something. Yeah, he's pretty dead, I think. He has a 5-up save and he doesn't have anything else. So he goes bye-bye. and that is 1 for the board. Scoring the Eldar another point. The autarch is gonna toss a grenade into the Neothrop's face. 3 shots, hitting on 2s. That's a cocked die. Rerolling once. And wounding on 4s because he's toughness 4 as well, and the grenade strength is 4. This is a 3-up invuln save, which he passes 1, so he drops down to 3 wounds. Next up we have these bikers over here. The Wind Riders will shoot at the Carnifex number 2. They are in autarch range. Hidden on 4s though, because they are moved and they have scalar lasers. What I shoot at? The Carnifex? Oh, just 1 wound. And it's passed on a 6. Okay. So that didn't do anything. Next we're gonna shoot the Viper into the Ripper Swarm. Not bad. Now I need those 6s again. Come on. Ew. No 6s, but 5-up cover? No. That is 1 base killed and another base kill. That's actually perfect. So these things have leadership 4, which is nothing, and they're not in Cinemas range. So they are currently at a 2. So on a 3, they will run, and that means I get to contest this objective at least with the Marshal, which means the Tyranids have a very, very, very bad chance to win this game, which is obviously good for me. I will roll this morale test now, now that I think about it, because there's actually no point in waiting. I will charge them no matter what, and I will forget that the Rippers run away for sure. They will run. Okay, so this thing is over. I will also do the charging and everything, because I always forget about these little combats. So he makes 1 shot, but he doesn't hit. Viper's gonna go charging. There we go, it would charge right here. So we are locked in combat here, and then the Rippers will run away at the end of the round, and that's that. So they will fight each other, because I was never gonna attack the Rippers anyway. There's no point in doing it, because they can't hurt me very well. Okay, let's do some more shooting here for now. We have 3 Vipers here that could try to kill the Neothrop, or they could try to kill the Carnifex. I think since nobody can kill the Neurothrops, I'm gonna open fire with these guys first into the Carnifexes, and then we see how much damage we can deal. So that's scalar lasers from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All into the Carnifex. No Doom active though, that's really painful, because as you can see, we're not wounding very well. It doesn't matter though, as seems. 1 Pheno Pain is passed, so the Carnifex is still on 1 wound remaining. It is a pain. But we have another squad. We do have plenty of firepower. That is for sure. Hitting on 3s. And this time we have to go do some good wounding. That is good wounding. And that is all saved. Next one. Hitting on 3s. Ouch. No justice here. He's still left with 1 wound remaining. I have a lone Viper that can do something maybe. So we have 1, 2... Oh, we have 1 squad more. So let's do 1 squad more and see if we can Maybe force a lucky 1 on the Carnifex. And not with that roll. Not with that roll. Come on, Carnifex. It's time to die. Yes, it is indeed time. Nope, it is not time to die. The frickin' feel no pain. Okay, next is the Viper. Viper is hitting pretty good. So we're looking for those 6s here. Nope. Not these. That's another one. And that is a double. No, it's a 1 and a 2. The Carnifex blows up. Does it actually blow up? No. That is 1 point for Big Game Hunter or Marked for Death, whatever you like. Okay. 3 Vipers into the Neurothrope, I'd say. So that should be enough to kill it. It's maybe a little overkill, but having these Psychers removed actually really helps us with the denying everything. Rerolling once because of the Autark. And... oh, actually there was 2 shots too many because it's still -1 in ranged combat, not in close combat. But that's a lot of good wounding, my goodness. Oh, actually, that wasn't a Carnifex we're shooting at. Did I? Nah, whatever. This is 3 up saves. That's 3 wounds on the Neurothrope. And that is bye-bye Neurothrope and a 1 character kill for Handhunter. Okay, we're thinning out the Psychic, and now the last part is this Neurothrope. 3 Vipers into the next Neurothrope. I got confused there. I was thinking I was shooting at a Carnifex and I should get -1 to hit, but I'm not shooting a Carnifex. I always do not remember this when I'm shooting at a Carnifex, but at everything else. Oh, that's a lot of 1s, though. Winning on 3s. Can this Neurothrope survive? If he can't, he can. Okay. He is on 1 wound remaining. This guy is a tough one. He got shot in the very first round and he still is jogging on forward. Probably still gonna die to the Viper, but you know, he might make it. And I can't charge him with anything, pretty much. Although I still have that Farseer. That Farseer is gonna fire a shuriken pistol into this Carnifex. Pew. No, not enough pew today. And then we have 3 more scatter lasers that can also fire into a fresh Carnifex. Alright, open fire. Hitting on force. This time I actually remember the freaking thing. 2 wounds. And that is a wound on a Carnifex. That is significant because we have only 24 wounds of Carnifexes left. Every other Carnifex is dead right now. Okay, I believe that is shooting for now. So charging is gonna be pretty important here because the Eldar might run away with the points at this point. So let's see what we can do. The Autark is gonna charge the Carnifex that's already in close combat. And also this Carnifex, just to prevent it from hitting our Viper, I think. And they can't overwatch anyway because he has the Banshee mask. So he's going right in here. And again, he has fly as well, so he can also fall back and still shoot and whatnot. But it's not as relevant for him. The Wind Riders will then charge this Carnifex that's already in close combat and as such cannot overwatch. And they make it, obviously. They will reposition like so, for now. Viper is still in close combat. The Farseer is gonna charge this Demon Russ, And that's a little bit risky, I know, but it's going to be very, very nice to have her in combat, because, yeah, the Leman Russ will not do much if it's locked up. Let's see. One wound is going through. And battle cannon, nope. Doesn't do anything. And that's a 1. So Farseer took a wound on Overwatch, which is acceptable. She automatically makes it in, because I obviously put her next to him. Boop. Like so. Funniest thing is she can actually wound the Leman pretty well, because she has a Witchblade. But, you know, we're not actually trying to kill these Leman anytime soon. I think we still have enough to do with the Carnifexes, and the Demon Russes will not shoot for the rest of the game pretty much, if I do this correctly. So let's start with the Farseer right away. She's gonna pie into both of these and then put her attacks into the one she charged. It's 1 hit. Autark is too far away. It wounds. He has a 3+ armor, which he makes. We can also attack her back real quick. We have 3 attacks on both of these, because the combat order here doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. Let's see if they can do something. No, they don't do anything, and that combat is locked. Then over here we got let's see how we do this. I'm gonna activate the Wind Riders first, and they pie in like this to block off the Carnifexes from getting to the objective, like so. All 2 attacks here, or 3 attacks actually, on this Carnifex. Might as well. Rerolling the 1 for the Autark. Wounding on a 5 or something, nothing happens. And next up is the Autark with his 4 attacks on the Carnifex. That's all hits. He's strength 6 right now. No wounds actually. Oh, let's check his profile. I think he's strength 3, doubled for the blade. That is correct. So this Carnifex is still alive. That's unfortunate. And last but not least, I'm gonna activate the Viper, which doesn't hit. Okay, so the Carnifexes can still try to do something here. And I'm gonna punch this Viper with the Carnifex, because there's no point in killing the Autark. He's irrelevant, like completely at the moment. And I have to kill these flying things. They are really, really hard to deal with. That's 2 wounds at least. 3 up armor though. Nope. The tail. That's cocked. The tail misses. This Carnifex has to attack the Autark though, because he's in range of him. So let's try. 2 hits. Nothing. Actually, do we wound on 2s? Yes, we do wound him on 2s here. Doesn't matter though, he doesn't take any damage. The tail misses. And that's exactly why we didn't attack the Autark, because there's pretty much no way we're gonna kill him anytime soon. Carnifexes are not very efficient. We're gonna do both Carnifexes into the Wind Riders, because it's very, very unlikely that they kill them in one go, because they all have 2 wounds each. That's good hitting though, at least better than before. Actually, can we use the stratagem in our turn? In the fight phase, yeah, we can. I'm not sure if I want to use it. I don't think I want to. If the Eldar get 1 CP, they can do a lot of nasty stuff. And the chance is not too high, but it's... no matter what, it's really, really bad. We're wounding these on 3s only because they are toughness 4 and we're only strength 7. They have 4 up armor saves, which is nice because they don't... Ah, there we go. So 2 bikes die. That's really significant. Let's take this one and this one. So we still can't take that objective still, I think. No, we can't. I mean, we're touching it, but no, we can't do that actually. But there's still the fuss here, so the Eldar will control the middle objective again. Okay, I already did these combats here. I already did this combat. So we only have to do the Viper attack, misses, and the Marshal has 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on, not that, 5s. And that's locked combat. We already determined that these guys would run away. The Wind Riders, what's their leadership? 7. It's fine. They only lost 2, so they do not run. Viper cannot run. Carnifexes are immune to Aurora because they're single units, and that is that. Back to counting. The Eldar did kill 1, hold 1, and they have the bonus with this Viper. They killed more, and they hold more for sure, leaving the score at 19 to 20. And yeah, that's not good. There's 4 Carnifexes remaining, so 2 have been killed, 3 have been killed, so that's 3 for Big Game Hunter / Mark for Death. And we also scored 1 point that I forgot for Mark for Death for the Hive Guard that got destroyed over here. So I think at this point it's fair to call the game. The issue is the Tyranids don't really have much options here. They can bring in some Termagants to try to take this objective from over here. But they would have to make a very long charge, and most likely they just get evaporated by these guys. The Wind Riders just destroy everything that is toughness 3 and doesn't have saves. So no point in killing them again, because we can score them again. So they would feed me a point, and they would most likely not even get an objective, because the Synapse is pretty much dead. There's only 1 guy remaining, so I don't think it's gonna be very smart. And as you can see, the Carnifexes can kill the Eldar one after another. But if I really want to, I can just bring in the jet bikes from over here and lock them all up in combat. I just do that because I'm too greedy. But you can imagine there is absolutely nothing challenging the board control. So I can bring over the Warlock if I want to. I can bring in all these Wind Riders, and the Carnifexes are incapable of chewing through a bunch of these guys. Because it's only turn 4 now. They're already half behind on objectives, and they don't really have that much to score. The only thing they can do is old school, which requires them to stay alive. Slay the Warlord is really unlikely because the Autarch can just run away. Linebreaker is only going to happen if I use the command points, and then they will probably still die because the Eldar have the last turn. And last strike is super unlikely because, again, if I want to get behind enemy lines, I can't get last strike. So let's say they get 1 additional point for last strike, and maybe they slay the Warlord, and then everything else pretty much is not really doable because they can't get all of these objectives with something like this. The Neothrop is on 1 wound. These things can't shoot next turn. These Carnifexes can't shoot next turn. There is still Vipers here, 1 Viper over here that's gonna fall back from the Marshal, kill him, and then take this objective as well. And you know, it's I have played this game already, I must admit. Last time I did the mistake on focus on the Carnifexes, and it turns out killing the Carnifexes with scatter lasers is impossible. I mean, I killed them all in the end, but it took about 4 or 5 rounds of firepower, which is way too much. The Hive Guard really did a job on the Vipers. It killed one Viper per round, which is not really that impressive. But if you think about it, a Viper is above 50 points each, and it does a lot of damage if you leave it be, as was seen in this battle. So my idea here would be the Windrunners did not really perform as I wanted them to. The Vipers did. The Vipers have more utility, tougher, very very fast unit that doesn't suffer as much. Although I think you could run some Wind Riders without these scatter lasers, just doing their little objective capturing thing and trying to get more involved with the Warlock. That would be an option. But in generally speaking, I'd either want some more big guns. These guys here should be replaced by something that can kill these Carnifexes. For example, a Hemlock would be pretty awesome in this case, because he's meant to deal with these heavy big units, and everything else just dies under the hail of the firepower from everything else. That would be an option, or we just fill another detachment with Vipers. They're relatively inexpensive. Now, what I didn't like is in both games, I don't think it's worth it spending the 2 extra command points to get the stratagem that allows me to spend another 3 for AP -1. I think the AP -1 is pretty good. It did score a lot of wounds this turn, but that many? Not really. Not really. Now, granted, I did perform pretty good with it. Last time it did not. It basically, your entire army is frozen in one place because you want to benefit from the buff with as many units as possible, and then paying 3 CP for it and 2 CP to get access to it means 5 CP to get there for something that you don't want. I don't think that's a good idea. And trust me, there is stuff here like auto advancing, or I don't know, get additional wounding, fall back and still charge. There is stuff here that can be used, especially lightning fast reaction, -1 to hit rolls if you target my stuff with for example the Hive Guard. This is really good, and I could have used these 5 CP for something else. I'm pretty sure saving more of my units is more significant than the other stuff. Now, seen from the other part, what I really liked about this game is the Carnifexes. Now, as you can see, they're not the super high damage unit that you expect them to be, especially not in close combat, because they are equipped for shooting, but they do damage, and they are hard to kill for an army like this. I have a lot of shooting, but the 2+ armor save in combination with -1 to hit makes them really, really tough to bring down. If you put Doom on them, it's much easier, but high toughness, relatively high wound, non-degrading profile, that's all stuff that I like. What I seriously do not like is these guys over here. They are less tough than the Carnifexes are. Their firepower is pretty much worse or the same, and if they get locked in close combat, they're just utterly useless. They need some sort of screening unit like the Termagants to be effective, and I would like my Termagants to secure objectives instead of babysitting some random tanks that don't even deal that much damage. I'm playing Leman Russ tanks. I'm not a enemy of Leman Russ tanks, but I play them as tank commanders with tank commands and additional support from their detachment. As Brood Brothers, don't like them. Really did not like them in either of these games, and they performed actually pretty good. Basically, they performed better than they should, and they were still underwhelming. And that's a sign for me that the unit does not really do what it wants to do. That one dying in the middle here in the middle was relatively unfortunate, but you know, it happens. It's a vehicle without an invuln save, and it gets rendered to death and dies. That's just the way it is, and that's fine with me. I did like the Genestealer Psyker. He did some good jobs last game because of Mass Hypnosis, which didn't really do much here because we didn't get in range with him. I blocked him a little bit. Neurothropes were just good. Cheap synapse with some psychic support. Catalyst saving the bacon there. Catalyst saving some here. Onslaught not really effective this game, but you know, if I move up the Carnifex's advance and charge, you can bet that the Carnifex is not going to kill anything, as you saw, and then it's going to shred it into pieces because it loses its -1 and gets into range of all the small arms fire that I have. That actually really hurts. The plasma grenades from the Autark and Twin Shuriken Catapult and whatnot, they all deal damage. Yeah, I really enjoyed this map though. I really like this sort of style and the hiding of the units and whatnot. I really did enjoy that one. Alright, that's it. Regarding the mission and everything, I think this is a fun mission to play. It's rewarding the bold, basically, because you have to make sure that the opponent sets up something, but you still have the objective placement in your favor if you want to do a certain kind of plan, because you only have to control the objectives you placed, not the one the enemy placed. So that's pretty nice to have. You can also see that the Eldar played the mission game pretty nicely. They denied the Tyranids a bunch of points, as much as possible, especially in the second rank, as you see over here. And yeah, the secondaries weren't even that good, because obviously this army is not good at hunting Carnifexes, but still. Basically the objective game is what made the difference this game, not the secondaries. The secondaries are actually pretty close, I think. They're not really far apart from each other, because Mark for Death would work for my Vipers, for example. Alright, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the battle report. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe. And I wish you all happy wargaming.